Not every bad things that happen in your life are bad. Going through a traumatic experience changes your brain. You become more vulnerable, more sensitive. When someone goes through trauma, especially if it's chronic or childhood trauma, this leads to a dysregulated nervous system. This means your body is still acting as if the danger is still around. This is why people can be in their 20s, in their 40s, in their 50s, still being a people pleaser, being hyper vigilant, having weak boundary. This is also why triggers feels more intense. It hurts more. It feels more personal. Especially when you haven't done the work to heal, when you haven't done the work to release the past and let your body know that we're no longer in those situations. If we focus more on triggers, the reason why they feel personal, the reason why they hurt more, the reason why it feels deeper is because they remind our body of past experience, of past trauma, of past pain, and our body don't want to go through that again. As someone who's been through trauma since the age of 3, I started my healing journey when I was 19. So you can count from 3 to 19. Every bad thing that was happening in my life, I was taking it personal. It was ruining my day. Getting triggered was just the worst thing ever. But what I've learned is getting triggered or something bad happening in your life, it's like someone pointing a mirror at you. Let me give you an example. If you have something going on in your face, pimples or any inflammation or anything like that, unless you look at yourself in a mirror, you won't be able to treat it, or you won't even know what's going on in your face, right? You're going to be walking around, people will be looking at you like, wait, does this person not see what's going on in the face? But if someone points a mirror at you, or if you look at yourself in the mirror, then you're able to see, wait, what is this happening? What is this? How can I treat it, right? That's the same thing when it comes to triggers or something bad happening in your life. Not everything bad that happens in your life are bad, especially if you've been through chronic trauma or childhood trauma. Now let's go back to the dysregulated nervous system. When you have a dysregulated nervous system, you can't see clearly. You can't think clearly. Your brain is only scanning threats. Your brain is only scanning what's familiar. If you grew up in an environment where you were being criticized, judged, shamed, when you see someone looking at you, your brain will immediately think that that person is judging you. This is because your brain is only reflecting what you grew up seeing. Your brain is only reflecting what it knows, right? And this is true for me because I grew up in a house where I was shamed by a parent. And I also think that when all those credit, all those pattern comes from a parent, it hits deeper because our parents are like the first adults that we have, the first people that we learn from. So when that parents treat you a certain way, it is so hard to go against it. Let me give you an example. So like I said, I was being criticized by that parents. They would look at me in my eyes and tell me I'm so ugly. They would look at me in my eyes and tell me that I should have never had you. And there was a time where we were all sitting together in the living room and that parents took a picture of her friend's daughter and posted it on Facebook saying, "My beautiful daughter." And I saw that and it hurts to the point when I'm like, am I not worthy to be your daughter, right? Am I not worthy to get called pretty? And it came to a point where when I was in high school and even the beginning of my university, when my friend would tell me that I'm pretty, it was so hard for me to believe it because in my head, that parents told me I was not pretty. That parents told me I'm ugly. So this friend, it might be lying to me. So I started taking it personal. When someone would look at me, I would be like, this person is judging me. But what if that person was just admiring my beauty? The reason why I bring this If we go back to the example about me getting triggered is because it's my body showing me that there's a part of me that I haven't healed. There's a part of me that is still bothering me, right? Because I still had those angers, those resentment towards our parents because they were treating me that way. But when I begin to let go of it, when I begin to heal, now when someone look at me, my brain is not thinking that they're judging me because I updated the system. Now my brain is operating from a new system. When we don't heal or regulate our nervous system, we stay trapped, being the victim, being bitter, treating people poorly, and blaming it on our trauma, on our experience. Let's say that you are in a relationship with a partner that you really love, and then you woke up and that partner sent you a message or called you telling you that the relationship is over. You would describe that event as something bad happening in your life, right? Especially if it's someone that you saw yourself in the future having kids and getting old, right? Like it's something bad happening. If you don't take that situation as if to look deeper, what I mean is usually when something bad happens in people's life, it can go two ways. One is the person's like, wait, what did I do wrong? Right? Like, how can I fix this? What went wrong? Right? That's number one. The second one is, oh, they probably found someone better. They left me. I'm so ugly. Right? If you go with number two, if you get to another relationship and the same thing happened, you're gonna repeat the same pattern. And it becomes like you're gonna get trapped in that cycle because you're not healing. You're not taking that bad situation as to heal yourself or to look inward. If you go at the first example, they broke up with you, but instead of you being the victim, instead of you thinking, oh, poor me, I'm so ugly, this is why I'm so fat, anything like that, if you go and look deeper, for what I mean is, why did this end, right? Like, did I not show up my best, right? Was I arguing a lot? You start looking at it, you start looking at how you were acting. Maybe you're gonna see, okay, maybe I was arguing too much, right? I was not present. And now when you're able to see those patterns, you can work on it. And the next time you get in a relationship, now you know what not to do. Not just for that person, but just for you. So you can be in a relationship that is aligned with who you want to be or what you want in life. Again, this is another reason why every bad things that happen in your life are not bad. Some of them, even though it's bad at the moment, if you go deeper, it will lead you to a path that you're gonna be so proud of. I'm gonna give you an example of my life, of how I even started my healing journey, and it's gonna you're gonna see what I'm really talking about. So stick around. Conviction, triggers, bad things happening in your life, or your biggest blessing. What do I mean about that? If we go back to the example that I said about the face, right? If something is happening in your face and you're not able to see it, how are you going to treat it? How are you going to know the root cause so you can stop doing it, right? One of my pet peeves, that one thing that I hate is when people that treat others poorly because of the experience of the traumatic experience that they went through. Like, I get it. You went through something bad. I am very, very sorry for you. But that is not a reason to treat another person poorly, because we never know what the other person is going through. We can see someone and look at them, yeah, they're smiling, but deep down we don't know what's going on. That used to be me. In high school, I can literally, my whole high school, I would go to school smiling, acting like things are okay, but inside, when I go back home, it's hell. Like, it's like the worst thing ever. Even on my way to school, to home, my heart is already racing. I already know what I'm gonna go through. I already know how bad it is. So that's just You going through a bad experience is not a reason for you to treat others badly. That's why when you're getting triggered, when bad things are happening in your life, if you can get curious about those events, if you can look inward, it will be your biggest blessing because you can heal it. If we go back to the example about the face, if you know, okay, this is happening. What did I eat yesterday? Right? And you're able to trace your step. It will help you so much because then you can heal, and then you can act in a different way. Then you can come back to yourself. Then you can tell your brain, hey brain, I know you still think we're still in danger, but we're no longer in danger. You can update your brain system, and that's how you begin to see bad things are not like being something really, really bad. And you can use those and they can be your biggest blessing. Be strict and honest. Let me give you an example by myself. I'm going to give you two. Okay. The first one is the past few weeks, year even, I realized that one pattern that I was repeating is lying, right? And at first I was like, okay, I'm just lying. Maybe my body's just scared or anything like that. I didn't really think much of it. And then it kept happening. And there was a pattern where like, if my body doesn't feel safe with someone, with a situation, I will lie, right? And it came to a point where I'm like, enough is enough. Also, I am a Christian, and I did not like, I know Jesus paid for my sin, but that is not a path for me to continue sinning, right? Because lying is a sin, right? And so there was a time I was at the gym with a friend, like a new friend. We were still trying to get to know each other. We were walking on a treadmill, and she asked me a question. And then when I answered back, I lied. And at that moment, I feel like that was the last thing I told myself. If I lie again, it's no, like this is the end. So then after that happens, like I felt a conviction. I felt like I did something really, really bad. And then when I went home, I started journaling. I love journaling. I love journaling. I started journaling, and I realized that the reason why I lie, the reason why my body doesn't, like my body lies, is because it doesn't feel safe, right? And it makes sense because of the environment that I grew up in, the conditioning that I grew up in. But I told myself, if I let this pass, I'm going to do it again. And I don't want that because I don't want to take God's grace for nothing. Like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, Jesus paid for my sin, now I can just sin. Oh yeah, I went through traumatic experience, now I can just lie. No, especially when it comes to like me trying to know a friend. Like, I want to be honest, right? I want to be my true self. I don't want to put out a fake version of myself. So after I finished journaling, I told myself, it's either I end this today or there's no excuse. So what I did is I sent that friend a message telling her the truth, saying, hey, I know when we're having a conversation today, I did lie about this thing, and I'm really sorry about that. I did that, and before doing it, I was really, really scared because one thing that I'm working on is putting myself out there, right? Because again, with my history, it makes sense. So putting myself out there is kind of like punishment for my body. So I knew that if I put myself out there, if I send this person a message, it will send my body a signal that like, we're not gonna do this again. It's a kind of like a punishment, but it's not really a punishment. You know what I mean? So then I did that, but before doing that, I sent my body the signals that like, we are okay. This is gonna be okay. Whatever happens, if she says she doesn't want to be friends with us, we're okay. Okay, at least we're being honest with ourselves. So that's what I mean about being strict and being honest. Because yes, you went through traumatic experience. Yes, your life was not good, but that is not permission for you to lie. That is not permission for you to be fake or to treat people badly. This is why I said not every bad things that happen in your life are bad. So this is what started my healing journey. So I had a boyfriend at the time. I think I was 19. We had a really, 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 really bad argument. Like, it's like one of the worst argument of my life. that argument really hurt, like to the point where like I can't even think about it. Now I don't feel anything, but when I used to think about it, I used to go in freeze mode because it was so bad. I was hurt so bad that me going through that experience, yes, it hurts. Yes, it was bad. Yes, I didn't want to be there. Yes, I didn't want to experience that. But that bad experience led me to me actually reconnecting with myself, with me healing myself, with me really coming back to myself. Because one thing about me, like at home, growing up at home, it wasn't safe, right? So I always used to go seek out like safety from others, having more friends, hanging out with more people, right? But then when that experience went through, there was name calling, there was it was just the worst thing of my life. But I took that worst part, that worst experience, and used it and questioned myself. How did I get here? And it led me to going to therapy, to talking to coach, to healing myself. That's what I mean when I say that bad, not every bad things that happen in your life are bad. Because yes, it can feel bad at the moment, but if you can really get curious on how you got there, it will be a blessing. It will help you so much to the point where you're gonna be like, please, can I get triggered? Like, that's how I am. Like, I love getting triggered, and I just want to say, like, at the moment when I'm triggered, I'm crying. If it hurts, I'm crying. If it's really bad, I'm not gonna be happy the first second, but after that, I'm like, okay, why am I acting like this? Why is this happening? Why did this hurt, right? Then you can begin to healing and then questioning yourself and getting to know yourself better. When you get triggered, when something hurts more than it should, it usually means there's something there. There's unfinished business. So get curious about your reactions. Get curious about your triggers and have compassion with yourself. Because in doing so, you are also getting to know yourself. You are releasing your body. You are telling your body, okay, we're safe. Yes, we've been through this experience, but now we're no longer there. And you can only get there when you become to get curious about your reaction, your triggers. Instead of judging yourself, instead of shaming yourself, instead of criticizing yourself, be the parents that your inner child needed. If you're someone that been through trauma, be the parents that that little girl never got. I hope this video was able to help you. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.